he wants to move with the resolution to empower Patrick McHenry as some sort of a short-term speaker. I think that's the wrong thing to do. He wants to do that while he continues talking to people and finding a path. I completely disagree. I think that we should all be able to find a path in that room right there, and that requires putting the egos down. It requires humility. It requires the 8 Republicans that work with Democrats to put us here asking for forgiveness in the conference, and people giving forgiveness and us moving forward. This is not a plan for a strong majority.
Jim Jordan failed to become Speaker for the second time, and now that he's decided to put his ambitions on the back burner due to the growing opposition, Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't happy about his new plan to empower Representative McHenry as temporary Speaker.
I do not support this plan. Republican voters worked too hard to give us the majority for us to enter some sort of temporary speakership. Our conference has a responsibility to the American people, to our districts, to work together and unify. And this conference is absolutely broken. And the reason why we're broken is because Republicans worked with Democrats and put us here. This is the most disappointing thing, and it has to change.
Are you disappointed to see Mr. Jordan supporting this idea?
Yeah, absolutely. We voted for him to be our Speaker nominee. We only had 2 votes. I wanted to see it keep going today and find a way to work with the holdouts to get together so that we can continue doing our work. And I don't know why this is happening, so I'm very disappointed.
Greene wanted to keep seeing Jordan get embarrassed over and over and over again by fellow Republicans that want nothing to do with this MAGA takeover attempt. And we all know when MAGA looks to take over, threats are a natural element of their attack.
It made us mad, and it backfires. You can win us over. Some of the younger folks, maybe that kind of works, but someone like me, Steve Vollmack, Mario Diaz-Balart, you can win us over with an argument that makes sense. You're going to have to convince us, right? And threatening us does not work.
To the surprise of Trump Republicans, direct threats aren't going to get the job done this time. Even though the Sean Hannitys and Brian Kilmeades of the world over at Fox News think that it's outrageous for Don Bacon not to accept it.
Bacon. McCarthy.
Dumbass. And the thing is, to say I'm not going to vote for Jim Jordan because he's pressuring me, why wouldn't he pressure you? That's the way you got to do it. You got 217 with a 4-point margin. What do you mean pressuring me?
I wonder if Kilmeade would welcome the kinds of threats and intimidation that NBC's Kyle Griffin reported from Bacon when he said this: Jordan is headed for defeat. He'll fight to death likely, and we won't let off. Their tactics angered us. They're harassing our spouses even. Jordan hit a brick wall. Yes, spouses. Representative Bacon's wife, Angie, reportedly received messages like this: why is your husband causing chaos by not supporting Jim Jordan? I thought he was a team player. When she asked who that was, and now they have nothing else to say, that anonymous person responded with, your husband will not hold any political office ever again. What a disappointment and failure he is. She then pointed out how her husband has more courage than the person who won't point out who they are. The Republican House is on fire. And as the battles behind the scenes continue to spill out into public, voters are getting a glimpse into the mind-boggling dysfunction and ego-driven decisions that are probably just regular occurrences when we're not looking. After the Gates 8 took out McCarthy, scared off Scalise, and tried to quickly install MAGA Jim, only to be faced with having to empower McCarthy ally Patrick McHenry, conservative commentator Scott Jennings, he might have had the best description of what Republican leadership looks like right now.
There was no plan. They had no plan. They threw McCarthy overboard without any plan whatsoever of what to do next. This Patrick McHenry business is fascinating. He is one of McCarthy's top guys, helped him get the speakership. And if this whole thing winds up with him as being named assistant to the regional manager, or whatever title they're going to give him here, which is not in the Constitution, this will be like the biggest circle jerk in the history of circles, or jerks. I mean, to have McCarthy's guy back in as a temporary speaker